Look at your life right now. Tell me, does it not feel, sometimes, like you are standing in the middle of a courtroom? From the moment you wake up to the moment you close your eyes, you are on the witness stand. You feel a constant, heavy pressure to testify, to justify why you are doing what you are doing, to explain why you are not doing what others expect, to offer a defense for your choices, your mood, your career, your silence. You explain yourself to your family. You explain yourself to your boss. You explain yourself to strangers on the internet. You even explain yourself to yourself, rehearsing arguments in the shower for conversations that haven't even happened yet. This is not living. This is a perpetual trial, and the verdict is always the same: exhaustion. You are tired because you are leaking your vital energy, your chi, through the open wound of your mouth. You have been conditioned to believe that you owe the world an explanation for your existence. You have been taught that your sovereignty is something you must negotiate for, argue for, and apologize for. But what if I told you that the door to your prison cell is unlocked? What if I told you that you can simply walk out? This is what I call the art of disappearing. Do not misunderstand me. To disappear is not to run away. It is not to hide in a cave or to become a ghost to the people you love. That is weakness. The art of disappearing is an act of supreme power. It is the act of withdrawing your energy from the performance of validation. It is the choice to stop maintaining the image others have of you and to start building the reality of who you actually are. It is the moment you realize that you are not the defendant. You are the judge. When you stop explaining, you stop giving away your power. You become solid. You become mysterious. You become heavy with presence rather than light with words. Today, I want to hand you the keys to this freedom. I want to show you 7 specific things, 7 heavy chains that you are currently dragging behind you. These are things you explain, justify, and apologize for every single day. And we are going to remove them. Not with a loud declaration, not with a fight, but with silence. We are going to let them drop one by one into the abyss of the unsaid. Let us begin with the first chain, the one that binds you most tightly to the expectations of others. The first thing you must remove, quietly and without announcement, is your constant availability. We live in an age where you carry a device in your pocket that has become a leash. You have been trained, conditioned like a Pavlovian dog, to respond to every beep, every vibration, every notification. You have trained the world to treat you like a convenience store, open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. People send you a message and they expect a reply within minutes. If you do not respond, they ask, "Are you mad? Are you ignoring me?" And you, feeling the pressure of the courtroom, rush to apologize. "I am sorry," you say. "I was busy." You apologize for living your own life. This stops today. To disappear means to reclaim your own rhythm. You must understand that your immediate attention is not a right that others possess. It is a privilege that you grant. When you are always available to everyone, you are eventually available to no one, least of all yourself. You are spread so thin that you become a ghost in your own life, haunting your own schedule, but never fully inhabiting it. You do not need to announce this. You do not post a status saying, "I am taking a break." That is just another performance. You simply stop responding immediately. You let the phone ring. You let the message sit. You allow a gap of hours or even days to open up. In that gap, in that silence, anxiety will arise. You will feel the urge to explain. "My battery died. I left my phone in the car." Do not do it. Kill that urge. You simply reply when you are ready, with presence, and you offer no excuse for the delay. By doing this, you are retraining the world. You are teaching them that access to you is not automatic, and miraculously, you will find that people begin to value your time more simply because you have begun to value it. Once you have reclaimed your time, you must reclaim your tongue. This brings us to the second heavy chain you must drop, the justification for your no. How many times have you said no to a request, an invitation, or a favor, and then immediately felt a wave of guilt wash over you? To stop the guilt, you start to talk. You start to build a wall of reasons. I can't come to dinner because I have to wake up early, and my car is making a funny noise, and I promised my mother I would call. Stop. Listen to me. Every word you add after the word no makes your boundary weaker, not stronger. When you explain your no, you are not being polite. You are subconsciously signaling to the other person that you do not believe you have the right to refuse. You are asking for their permission to have a boundary. You are placing your decision on the table as a negotiation. If you give a reason, you give them a problem to solve. If you say, "I can't because I don't have a ride," they will say, "I will pick you up." Now you are trapped, not by them, but by your own explanation. The art of disappearing requires you to become comfortable with the discomfort of silence. No, I won't be able to make it. And then, silence. In that silence, you are not being cruel. You are being clear. Clarity is kindness. When you remove the explanation, you remove the confusion. You stand firm in your sovereignty. You will feel a fire in your belly when you do this for the first time. It is the fire of your power returning to you. You realize that no is a complete sentence. It requires no subtitles, no footnotes, and no defense attorney. By removing your constant availability and your need to justify your refusals, you are closing the gates of your fortress. You are stopping the immediate leak of your energy. But now that you have secured the perimeter, we must look at what you are doing with the energy you have saved. Because many of you are still throwing it away, casting your pearls before those who do not understand their value. This leads us to the things you must stop broadcasting about your future. Once you have secured the perimeter of your time and your boundaries, you must turn your gaze inward. You must look at the treasure you carry. This treasure is your potential. It is the raw energy of creation. And right now, most of you are squandering it. You are opening the doors of your treasury and inviting thieves in, all for a moment of cheap applause. This brings us to the third thing you must remove without explanation, your next moves. We have all done this. You have a new idea. You are going to start a business. You are going to write a book. You are going to transform your body. The idea is fresh, fragile, and full of life. And what is the first thing you do? You run to tell someone. You post it on social media. You announce your intention to the world. And in that moment, you feel a rush. You feel the warmth of their validation. They say, "Wow, that is amazing. Good for you." You feel successful, but you have not done anything yet. You have fallen into a trap of your own biology. When you announce your plans prematurely, your brain releases dopamine, the reward chemical. It gives you the feeling of achievement before you have done the work. You trick your mind into thinking the mountain has already been climbed. And because you have already received the reward, your motivation to actually do the hard, gritty work in the dark evaporates. You are like a pressure cooker. For the food to cook, for the transformation to happen, the lid must be sealed tight. The heat must build. The pressure must rise. If you constantly open the lid to show everyone what you are cooking, the steam escapes. The heat dissipates. You are left with a lukewarm pot and raw ingredients. Disappear into your work. Build in the shadows. Let the project consume you. Let the pressure of keeping it a secret drive you forward. Do not tell them what you are going to do. Show them what you have done. Let the result be the only noise you make. The silence of your preparation will make the thunder of your success even louder. But there is another way we waste our energy. It is not just by projecting our future, but by projecting our judgment onto others. This is the fourth thing you must excise from your life: your opinion on others. Human beings are addicted to judgment. We are addicted to gossip. It is a social glue, a way to bond with others by pointing at a third person and saying, "Look at them. Look at how wrong they are." It makes us feel superior. It makes us feel safe. But this safety is an illusion. When you engage in gossip, when you vocalize your judgment of others, you are entering a lower frequency. You are swimming in the mud. You are entangling your energy with the very things you say you dislike. Furthermore, when you are known as someone who has an opinion on everything and everyone, you become predictable. You become transparent. People know exactly which buttons to push to get a reaction out of you. You are a puppet, and your opinions are the strings. The art of disappearing asks you to cut those strings. Imagine being in a room where everyone is criticizing someone. The energy is frenetic, angry, and you simply sit there. You listen, you observe. And when they turn to you and ask, "What do you think?" you offer them nothing. You offer them a shrug, a silence, or perhaps you say, "I do not know enough to judge." In that moment, you become a mirror. When you remove your opinion, you remove the hook that allows others to drag you into their drama. You become a void. And this terrifies people in the best way possible. When they cannot see your judgment, they are forced to look at themselves. Your silence becomes a vacuum that pulls the truth to the surface. By refusing to explain what you think of others, you preserve your clarity. You keep your mental lens clean. You stop wasting your precious mental resources on the behavior of people you cannot control, and you redirect that massive amount of energy back into the only thing you can control, your own evolution.
So you have stopped leaking energy to time vampires. You have stopped leaking energy to premature announcements. You have stopped leaking energy to the drama of judgment. You are becoming a vessel that is sealed and strong. But now we must go deeper. We must descend into the basement of your house, where you keep the things that you think define you, but are actually weighing you down. We must look at the stories you tell about your own past. We have closed the doors to the noisy street. We have stopped shouting our plans from the rooftop. Now we must descend into the quiet, dark soil of your being. This is where the roots of your identity live, and it is here that we find the fifth thing you must stop explaining: your old wounds. We live in a culture that fetishizes vulnerability. You are told that to connect with others, you must bleed in public. You are encouraged to wear your trauma like a badge of honor, to introduce yourself not by your name, but by your scars. You tell the story of your heartbreak, your difficult childhood, your failures, over and over again. You think you are seeking connection, but often you are seeking pity. Or worse, you are seeking a permanent excuse. When you constantly explain your past pain, you are keeping it alive. You are reopening the wound every time you speak of it, inviting the bacteria of other people's opinions to infect your healing process. You allow others to define you by what happened to you, rather than what you did with it. The art of disappearing demands that you take your wounds into the sanctuary of silence. Healing does not happen on a stage. True alchemy, the transformation of leaden pain into golden wisdom, happens in the dark. It requires a sacred, enclosed space. When you stop explaining your past, you stop being a victim of it. You become its master. You digest the experience. You extract the lesson and discard the pain. One day, you will speak of it. But you will speak of it as a scar, not a wound. You will tell the story from the perspective of the survivor who conquered, not the victim who is still suffering. Until you reach that point of absolute neutrality, let your silence be the bandage that allows the healing to begin. And just as you must protect your past, you must fiercely protect your present evolution. This is the sixth thing to remove without explanation: your process of change. There is a moment in the life of every aspiring master when they decide to change. You decide to start meditating. You decide to become disciplined. You decide to change your diet, your mindset, your circle. You are entering the chrysalis. And the biggest mistake you make is running to your friends and family and saying, "I am changing, I am doing this new thing, I am becoming a new person." Do not do this. Why? Because the people around you, even those who love you, have a subconscious investment in you staying exactly the same. Your predictability makes them feel safe.
Your stagnation validates their stagnation. When you announce you are changing, you are holding up a mirror to their lack of growth. They will challenge you. They will say, "Oh, you think you are better than us now?" They will offer you the very poison you are trying to quit just to see if you will break. They will pull you back down like crabs in a bucket. Not out of malice, but out of fear. You owe them no explanation for your evolution. You do not need to justify why you are no longer drinking, why you are waking up at 4 a.m., or why you are reading philosophy instead of watching the news. If you explain, you are asking for their permission to grow. You do not need it. Be like the seed. The seed does not scream, "I am growing," as it pushes through the dirt. It struggles in silence. It pushes against the dark, heavy earth without a word. And then, one day, it breaks the surface as a sprout. Let them see the sprout. Let them see the flower. Let them see the fruit. Let your results be so undeniable that they require no explanation. When they ask, "How did you do this?" you seem different. You simply smile. You have become a mystery to them. And in that mystery, you have gained the space to keep growing without the weight of their expectations. You heal in the dark. You grow in the dark. This is the way of nature. And as you heal and as you grow, you will come to the final, most terrifying realization. You will realize that the person you are becoming can no longer carry the name of the person you were. You are ready to drop the final weight. We arrive now at the final gate. We have stripped away the external demands. We have silenced the broadcasting of your plans. We have stopped asking for pity for your wounds or permission for your growth. But there is one final ghost that haunts you. It is the heaviest chain of all. It is the seventh thing you must remove without explanation, the old version of yourself. Human beings have a deep, often paralyzing need for consistency. We feel that we must remain consistent with the person we were yesterday, the person we were 5 years ago, the person our family expects us to be. We carry the corpse of our past identity on our backs, afraid to drop it because we are afraid of confusing people. You worry. If I suddenly stop being the funny one, will they still like me? If I stop being the reliable helper, will I have any value? If I change my career, my style, my beliefs, will I be a fraud? Listen to me closely. You owe no one consistency. Nature is not consistent. The seasons change. The snake sheds its skin. The tree drops its leaves to survive the winter. If a tree tried to hold on to its dead leaves forever because it was afraid of looking different, it would die. Growth is a series of small deaths. To become the person you are meant to be, the person you used to be must die. And you do not need to write a eulogy. You do not need to explain to your old friends why you no longer fit in their circle. You do not need to apologize to your family for outgrowing the role they assigned to you at birth. When you simply stop acting out the old script, people will be confused. They will say, "You've changed." They will say it like an accusation, like a betrayal. In that moment, you must not defend yourself. You must not apologize. You must look them in the eye and accept it as the victory it is. Yes, you have changed. That is the point of life. When you stop explaining your evolution, you give yourself the ultimate freedom, the freedom to be born anew in every single moment. You become fluid. You become like water, adaptable, unstoppable, and fresh. You stop serving the memory of who you were, and you start serving the reality of who you are becoming. This is the art of disappearing. It is not about vanishing from the world. It is about vanishing from the false layers that have covered you. Imagine, for a moment, what your life would feel like if you did this. Imagine waking up tomorrow and not checking your phone immediately. No explanation. Imagine saying no to a request that drains you. No excuse. Imagine working on your dream in total secrecy, fueling it with your own internal fire. Imagine sitting in a room full of judgment and remaining a silent, peaceful mirror. Imagine healing your wounds in the dark, without needing an audience. Imagine evolving so fast that your old self is just a distant memory. Do you feel that? That lightness? That is the weight of the world falling off your shoulders. That is the feeling of your energy returning home. When you disappear from the noise, you appear to yourself. When you stop explaining your existence, you finally begin to inhabit it. You become dangerous in the best possible way. A person who does not need validation is a person who cannot be controlled. A person who does not leak energy is a person who can build empires. A person who is comfortable in silence is a person who has mastered their own mind. The courtroom is empty. The trial is over. You can step down from the witness stand. You are free to go. But before you go, I have one question for you. The silence you are about to enter is not empty space. It is fertile ground. It is the soil where your new life will grow. But a seed must be planted with intention. You have heard the 7 chains: availability, justification, future plans, opinions, old wounds, the process of change, the old identity. Which one of these is the heaviest for you right now? Which one will be the first to drop into the abyss of silence today? Do not tell me why. Do not give me a reason. Just make the decision. Go to the comments below and leave a simple mark of your commitment. Write down the one thing you are choosing to remove without explanation. Let that comment be the first brick in the wall of your new sanctuary. The world is noisy. Be the silence that changes it. Disappear so that you may finally be found.